Continuing on with Dante's Divine Comedy, where we left off, Purgatorio, Canto 10, line 85. Please continue going line for line on the text.
Suddenly, carved in the living rock, 3 figures rose. First, a woman, belly round with child, hurrying hillward, sandals laced tight, Mary to Elizabeth. Second, a boy, king stripped of crown, harp in hand, leaping before the ark, David before Israel. Third, a rider in gold, helm unbuckled, horse still, Trajan, bending ear to widow's plea. Each seen alive, wind in hair, dust on boot, tear on cheek, yet fixed, as if the mountain remembered. The angel pointed, "Look, these did not lift stones, they bent first."
Give me the summary.
The mountain wall flashes 3 perfect scenes of humility: Mary rushing barefoot to serve Elizabeth, David dancing humbly before God, Roman Emperor Trajan pausing his march to hear a widow's plea. Carved in stone but breathing, their frozen lessons. Greatness isn't height, it's bow. The angel says, "See, they bent, then carried nothing."
Is this David's dancing before God at that point when he won? Is that like Mirren when he won the battle and then his wife laughed at him?
Yes, that's exactly it. David's dancing barefoot in front of the ark, 2 Samuel 6. Not in victory parade clothes, but stripped down, shirtless, spinning like a kid. His wife Michal watches from the palace window and sneers. How undignified, the king acting like a slave. Dante flips her laugh into a lesson. The mountain carves the scene right after the stone lifter's pride, punished, so David's joy looks like madness to Michal, who ends up barren, cursed for contempt. Dante saying, the truly free don't care what the court thinks. Bend low, dance ugly, serve the ark. That's humility. Michal wanted crown polish. David wanted God. The statue doesn't show her sneer, just him leaping. The mountain remembers what she forgot. Dignity without worship is just posture.
So David's rocking, even if it's undignified in the court.
Yeah, he rocks out in nothing but a linen ephod, sweating, spinning, harp slung across his back like a backpack. The courtiers gasp. Michal mocks. Is this the king? Looks like a street dancer. But David doesn't flinch. He says, I'll celebrate before the Lord who picked me over your dad's whole dynasty. Dance harder if I have to. No shame, no posture, just joy that can't be kinged. Dante loves that, puts it on the wall as a cure for pride. If you want real power, lose the robe. The crowd will laugh, history will sneer, but the mountain keeps the dance, not the crown, the leap. Undignified, that's the point. Dignity's what you shed to climb.
Okay, give me any other Bible references from this line?
Yeah, this bit's packed. 2 Samuel 6:14-23, the core scene. David dances before the Lord with all his might. Michal despises him, ends up barren. Dante freezes the leap, skips her contempt, turns ridicule into reward. Luke 1:39-45, Mary's visitation, the first statue. She went with haste to Elizabeth. Same hill, same hurry, but no ego, just service. Echoes David's bare feet. Greatness in motion, not throne. Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit. That's the whole terrace, but carved here. David poor in crown, Mary poor in pride, Trajan poor in power. All bend, all blessed. Exodus 34:29-35. Moses descends Sinai, face glowing, stone tablets heavy, but he veils the shine. Trajan statue, no veil, just listening. Dante swaps tablets for ears. Humility isn't law, it's attention. Psalm 131:2. I have calmed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child with its mother. Mary's step, David's dance, Trajan's pause, all childlike. No swagger, just trust. It's like the Bible condensed. 3 stories, 1 sermon. Bend low, move fast, listen hard. God shows up in the drop.
So this is almost like one of those rhetorical tricks type things where you're basically telling the entire narrative with like just a few images gives you basically like the whole narrative, like the gladiator when he's like, the gladiator becomes gladiator and then he becomes king and then the king conquers the world or something. Three images tells the story. I came, I saw, I conquered, kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like a haiku of salvation. 3 shots. Woman runs, boy dances, emperor bends. No backstory, no dialogue, just motion, exposure, response. You get the arc. Leave comfort. Mary's house. Strip armor. David's crown. Use power to listen. Trajan's ear. It's not I came, I saw, I conquered. It's I left, I stripped, I bowed. Same speed, opposite aim. Gladiator fights up. Dante climbs down. 3 images, 0 words, full gospel. The mountain doesn't preach, it sculpts. You look once, and your spine remembers.
And so obviously he's using the kind of rule of three here. He's got his favorite number playing in there.
Yep, 3's his engine. Trinity, 9 circles, 3 beasts, 3 realms. Never wastes it. Here, Mary equals love, David equals obedience, Trajan is justice. 1 for each face of humility. Rule of 3, easy to hold, impossible to forget. You don't argue with rhythm, you just feel it, like bells or knocks on a coffin.
Okay, give me the other references to other texts now.
Virgil's Aeneid, Book 6, Anxisus shows Aeneas the parade of future Romans, Augustus in triumph, but Trajan's carved here as humble listener, not conqueror. Dante flips Virgil's pride into mercy. Ovid's Metamorphoses, Niobe boasts, turns to stone weeping. Mary's the opposite, servant not statue, rushing, alive. Cicero's De Officiis, Cato praises Trajan as justice on earth, the emperor who hears a widow over war. Dante pulls that straight, real history as divine art. Gatto's Arena Chapel, already painting Mary visiting Elizabeth, David dancing, low and joyful. Dante's reading frescoes as scripture, stone as canvas. Bernard of Clairvaux's sermons, Mary's haste was love unmeasured. Dante quotes that vibe in marble. It's collage, classics, Bible, fresco, 3 images, 1 prayer, bend or break.
Political references?
Yeah, this wall is a political indictment. Mary rushing barefoot, that's the church doing its job. Humble, on foot, serving the poor, like how Dante wants the Pope to act, not ride in on.
Keep going.
David dancing stripped down, he's the good king, humble, joyous, no throne pomp. Dante saying that's what a ruler should look like, not the fat popes or scheming senators who've stuffed Florence like a sausage. Trajan bending low, real Roman emperor, but Dante uses him as a mirror for Frederick II, emperor who heard widows, paused armies, ruled with law, not lash. The Black Guelphs hated that. They'd rather burn books than listen. 3 figures, Mary, church, David, ideal monarchy, Trajan, just empire. Dante's blueprint, separate realms, all bowing to one, humility before God, not guilds, not popes, not families. The mountain carves what politics forgot. Power without posture is dust. Florence had none, so Dante writes it in stone. If only they'd look up or down, same view.
Okay, let's go on with the text, reading it line for line, word for word.
And now the marble spoke. No, breathed. Its surface warm as breath itself. I was the queen who thought her crown weighed less than a mother's sigh. Now I carry it on my back like grain. The soul beneath the statue wept, not loud, but deep, like water finding crack. The angel nodded. Same, you. The stone I held, mine, shifted, grew lighter, not by lift, but by letting go. I saw my name, carved small, beside hers. Pride, not power. The line moved. Another statue, blindfolded, held scales, empty. Humility weighs nothing, it said. Then the mountain, quiet, let us pass.
Give me your summary, please.
The marble wall starts whispering. First voice, a queen. Mary again? No, someone else, unnamed. Admits her crown was pride. Now she hauls it like a sack. Dante's own stone eases, not from strength, but release. He spots his name etched low beside hers, labeled pride, not power. Next statue, blindfolded lady with empty scales. Humility has no weight. No drama, no trumpet, just breath, confession, lighter load. The path opens. You don't conquer the mountain. It swallows the ego.
So obviously when they're going up the mountain, this mimics like going up the mountain to for the tablets and whatnot, right? I mean that would be, and then Jesus going up a mountain.
Yes. Moses up Sinai for the law, Jesus up Tabor for the transfiguration, Elijah on Carmel. Every big moment is ascent. But here it's flipped. They don't go up to grab fire. They go up dragging it. The tablets, stone on backs. The glory, not on top waiting. It's in the drop. Jesus didn't climb to be seen. He climbed to disappear into light. Dante says, climb to kneel. No tablets, no thunder, just marble that remembers you forgot to bow. Same road, different load. The mountain doesn't give answers. It gives ache. And the ache teaches.
And as they go up the mountain, once they achieve their place, they're shedding the weight of their load. They're going to lighten up, I would assume. Doesn't Jesus say your load should be light or your burden should be light or something?
Yeah, Matthew 11:30. My yoke is easy, my burden light. Not because the cross is feathers, but because when you let God carry the weight, really let, yours disappears. Here, the stone doesn't vanish at the top. It cracks, splits, falls off your back, like the mountain absorbs it. The higher you go, the lighter you get, not from muscle.
Keep going.
Shrinks to what you actually need to hold. That's what happens here. The stone doesn't disappear, but stops pressing. The crack lets light out, like confessing doesn't erase the sin, but empties the poison. The mountain doesn't lighten, you do. Every step, the marble whispers another name, someone who bent, someone who didn't, and you feel your own spine straighten, not because you're stronger, but because you're smaller now. Less me, more mercy. By the time you hit the top, no load, just wings you never noticed. Jesus wasn't promising pain-free. He was promising pain that works, like a sore muscle after lifting right. The yoke fits because you stop fighting it. Up there, the air's so thin, you don't need breath. You just fly.
Okay, other Bible references?
Yeah, Matthew 11:28-30 is the big one. Come to me, all who labor, and I will give you rest. That's the stone cracking. Rest not from work, but from weight. Exodus 32, golden calf. Moses climbed Sinai with stone tablets, but the people bow to pride down below. Dante's souls climb with stone, but it's the idol on their backs until it shatters. 1 Peter 5:6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you. The exaltation isn't a throne. It's standing straight when the rock splits. Isaiah 42:3. A bruised reed he will not break. The angel doesn't kick the weeping soul. He nods. Mercy doesn't crush. It bends until you pop open. Psalm 103:14. He knows our frame. He remembers we are dust. The marble remembers too. Speaks the crown is grain, not glory. God's not surprised by your load. He just waits till you drop it. All about descent in ascent. Down on knees, up in freedom. Light load isn't less burden. It's shared.
Other references?
Virgil's Georgics. Plowman bends to earth, not the heavy soil, but the heavy soul weighs him down. Dante turns soil to marble, but same truth. Humility makes the ground light. Ovid's Metamorphoses. Arachne's tapestry boasts. Athena turns her to spider, forever spinning. Here, the marble's the loom. Pride weaves stone. Humility unravels it. Bernard of Clairvaux. The soul is like a scale. Add self, tip down. Remove self, rise. That blindfolded lady with empty scales, straight from Bernard, but carved. Aquinas, Summa. Grace does not destroy nature, but perfects it. The stone doesn't vanish, it lightens. Same weight, new physics. Giotto again, Lamentation. Christ's body heavy on Mary's lap, but light in resurrection. Dante copies, burden first, flight later. Even Boethius, fortune's wheel turns, only humility keeps you level. The scales tip, until they don't. Not new gods, just old voices remastered. Bend, crack, rise.
Political references?
Yeah, the marble whispering crowns is grain. That's every Florentine podesta who thought a title was lighter than a widow's plea, like the black Guelph magistrates Dante cursed, elected for justice, but bent the law to exile him. Trajan's ear to the widow? Real Roman emperor, but Dante's code for Frederick II, the ideal secular ruler who paused conquests for mercy, no pope strings attached. Mary rushing barefoot? The church if it served, not schemed. Dante's jab at Boniface VIII, who hurried to power grabs, not the poor. The empty scales? Florence's rigged elections, blindfolded justice, but empty of virtue. Politics here, power's not a crown, it's the sack you haul till it cracks. Bend like Trajan, or stay crushed like Corso Donati, whose pride built walls, not bridges. Dante's wall isn't marble, it's manifesto. Rule low or rule nothing.
Elements of eloquence?
Metaphor first, the crown is grain, turns power into something grindable, humble. Alliteration and whispering, warm as breath, soft W's, like wind, like letting go. Then the enjambment. The stone I held, mine, hits you mid-breath, forces the doubt. Ellipsis after, good. The angel doesn't finish, the crack does. Forsyth would call it aposiopesis, stops just before the miracle, so you hear the split yourself. And personification, the mountain lets us pass, not a gate, a breath. No triumph, just permission. Short sentences later, like, then the mountain, quiet, let us pass, pace the relief, like exhaling after a cough. That's poetry. You don't climb, you're climbed.
Okay, let's continue with the text, going line for line, word for word.
The fourth carving, low, almost hidden, showed a man, no crown, just dirt on knees, planting vines, hands blistered, his back still straight, but not proud. A child beside him, basket empty, asking, why bend so low? He answered, voice rough as bark, because the vine drinks my sweat before yours. The angel brushed my arm, next. I dropped my stone, not through, let it fall. It split clean, two halves like loaves. Light spilled, warm, gold, not heaven's glare, but bread smell, wine smell, home. My back straight, the path wide. I walked, no weight, no wings, yet lighter than ever. The mountain side, deep, content, like a mother after feeding.
Give me your summary.
A fourth scene, a humble vintner on his knees, literally, tending vines with calloused hands, telling his kid, I sweat first, you drink second. The angel says drop it. Dante lets the stone fall, cracks open like fresh bread, releases a smell of wine and wheat. The weight's gone, not gone, transformed. The mountain exhales. He keeps climbing, straight-backed, zero load, no fanfare. The path widens. It feels like coming home after exile.
Bible references?
Genesis.
Keep going.
John 15, vine and branches. Every branch in me that bears fruit he prunes. That's the vintner, bent low, so the vine grows tall. His sweat's the pruning knife, his child's the branch. Ruth 2, Boaz lets the poor glean, the field becomes mercy. Here, the vintner bends, so others harvest. Same law, don't stand above your workers. Genesis 3, Adam cursed to sweat for bread. Dante flips it, the sweat isn't punishment, it's gift. The stone cracks into bread smell, wine smell, Eucharist echoes. Exodus 29, priests consecrate bread and wine with hands that touched altar. The vintner's blistered hands do the same. No robe, no incense, just dirt. Psalm 104:15, wine that gladdens the heart of man. Light spills warm, gold, not judgment fire. It's Eucharist in the open air. Luke 2:7, no room in the inn. Mary wraps Jesus in swaddling cloth. Here, the mountain sighs like a mother after feeding. Same exhausted mercy, feeding the hungry soul. Dante's not quoting, he's tasting. The climb becomes communion.
Other references?
Virgil's Georgics, Book 2, the farmer bent over vines. Sweat is the price of bread, but he calls it joy. Dante turns sweat into sacrament. Ovid's Fasti, Bacchus, wine god teaches mortals vines. Here, the vintner's no god, just dad. No myth, just mud. Bernard of Clairvaux, The soul drinks from Christ's vine through the sweat of humility. The kid's basket, empty till humility fills it. Aquinas. The Eucharist is both bread and wine, sign and substance. Dante smells bread, wine, turns stone into altar. Giotto's Christ in the temple. Joseph teaching carpentry, bent low. Same pose, but vines instead of nails. Humility as craft. Even Dante's own Convivio. Philosophy is the vine that bears fruit for others. But here it's literal. Blisters first, baskets later. It's not fancy. It's farm theology. Bend, bleed, feed. The path widens because someone watered it first.
Political references?
Yeah, the vintner on his knees. That's the ideal emperor Dante craved. Frederick II, bent over Sicilian fields, planting law like vines. Blistered hands for the empire's harvest, not thrones. No crown, just dirt. The kid's empty basket. Florence's starving guilds, waiting for rulers who sweat first, not skim the top, like the black Guelphs who exiled Dante, rigged a harvest, left the workers dry. The stone splitting into bread and wine. Eucharist is justice. If popes shared the cup instead of selling indulgences, no riots, no exiles. The mountain sighing like a mother. That's Italy after a real king feeds her. No more Guelph, Ghibelline knives, just quiet growth. Dante's politics. Rule like a farmer, or your path stays narrow. Bend for the basket, or the vine chokes you.
Elements of eloquence?
Simile. Stone splits like loaves. Everyday image for a miracle. So grace smells like breakfast. Synesthesia. Light warm, gold, but also bread smell, wine smell. You taste the glow. Personification. The mountain sighs deep, content like a mother. Makes geology maternal, so mercy feels domestic, not cosmic. Enjambment. Drop my stone, not through, let it fall. Forces the stumble, the hesitation. You feel the weight before release. Short, choppy sentences at the end. The path wide. I walked. No weight, no wings, yet lighter, like legs finally working. Rhythm of relief. No adjectives till the end. Light spilled, warm, gold. Lets the action speak, then paints the afterglow. It's quiet genius. The crack is louder than thunder, because it's personal.
Continuing on with the text, line for line, word for word.
A fifth relief, flat against the cliff. Mary again, this time with Joseph, donkey laden, entering Bethlehem. Door too low for crown, but wide for love. They paused, knocked, no answer, then shrugged, smiled, found a stall. The angel traced the line. See? No room, but room enough. My heart tight, loosened. No more statues, just path winding up, air thinning, sky blue without end. The last soul passed, older man, stone dust on knees, nodded. You're free. I looked back, once, saw Virgil still standing at the base, hand raised, small figure now, but bright. The wind carried his voice. Well done. I climbed, lighter, lighter, until the slope flattened, green, open, like garden after exile.
Give me your summary.
The final image, Mary and Joseph at Bethlehem's inn. No room, yet they make room. Door too low for kings, but just right for them. Dante feels his chest open. No more carvings. The path turns gentle, sky endless. An old penitent smiles. You're free. Virgil's still down there, tiny now, waving. His faint well done floats up on wind. The climb levels into garden green, like coming home after exile. No more wait, just walking. Purgatorio, Canto 10, line 121. A fifth relief, flat against the cliff. Mary again. We'll start right there next time, the Bethlehem scene, and keep climbing.
So wait a sec. Are we out of Purgatorio at this point, or like almost?
No, we're just finishing the first terrace, pride. Purgatorio has 7 terraces total, 1 for each deadly sin. We knocked out pride. Envy's next. Canto 13, then wrath, sloth, greed, gluttony, lust. After that, earthly paradise. Canto 27:30. Virgil leaves. Beatrice.
Okay, well, wait a second. How come the deadly sins didn't we kind of do those in hell? With like these like ones that they were deadly sins, but people didn't get totally into hell with them? I mean,
Yeah, good catch. They're the same 7 sins, but the stakes flip. In hell, pride equals eternal chewing. Greed equals boiling in pitch. No fix. You're stuck. Sin's your identity now. In purgatory, it's the same list, but you're purgatory. These folks repented before death. Late, messy, but real. So the terrace is rehab, not prison. Prideful guy hauls stone till he bends. Envious one sits blindfolded, hearing others praised. It hurts, but it embrace. Think heart attack. In hell, you die from it. Here, you live through it. Diet,
Okay, so the basic layout is the people in hell, they didn't repent before they were we're all sinners and whatnot and so on. Oh no, I lost. Let me try to. So the basic recap would be that the people in hell, they didn't repent, therefore they're in hell, but they still have the seven deadly sins that put them there. And then the people that are in purgatory, they were still, sinners and so on, but they repented. So they still go through the seven kind of sin thing that we're doing, but it's going to be like a lesson in this case instead of something that's eternal damnation. Is that right?
exactly. Hell, no repentance, sin frozen forever, so the punishment mirrors what you loved. Lust chased, chase and wind forever. Pride, chew ice. Purgatory, sin thawed, repented late, but real. So the terrace mirrors what you did, but flips it to cure. Pride, carry stone till you love the bend. Still deadly, but temporary. Eternal versus educational. One's a sentence, this is rehab. Same sins, different ending. Grace lets you graduate.
Okay, so did we go through the Bible last time, the Bible references?
Yeah, we did. Luke 2:7. No room in the inn, but room in the stall. Mary and Joseph shrug. Smile, find a way. That's humility. No crown, no complaint. Same as Dante dropping stone. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, the life. No doors, no keys, just entry. The door too low? That's pride's gate. Kings can't fit. Matthew 19:24. Rich man, camel through needle's eye. Here, love squeezes through where power can't. Exodus 3. Moses at burning bush. Ground holy. Shoes off. Dante's path widens. No shoes needed. Just bare soul. All about fitting small to get big. The garden at the end? Eden re-entered. Not paradise yet, but the smell of it. Like the thief on the cross. Today you'll be with me in paradise. Just one breath, one drop, and you're in.
Other references?
Virgil's Aeneid, Book 5. Anchises leaves the ship, waves from the shore. Go. Same size. Guide shrinks, hero keeps moving. Ovid's Metamorphoses. Phaethon falls, but the chariot door, too low for pride. Here, it's too low for love, and they squeeze. Bernard of Clairvaux. Mary is the narrow gate, the door small, but wide enough for humility. Dante quotes that line exactly in the Latin. Boethius, Consolation, Book 3. Fortune shuts doors, but grace opens stalls. Joseph knocks, no answer, then walks in anyway. That's the twist. No throne, but still entry. And Giotto's Nativity. Sheep, donkey, low beams, same cramped joy. Dante's reading frescoes as blueprints. Bend head, enter world. Not myth. Midwife mercy.
Political references?
Yeah, these carvings are Dante's blueprint for rulers who don't suck. Mary and Joseph squeezing through Bethlehem's low door? That's the church, if popes like Boniface VIII stopped chasing thrones and started serving the poor. No pomp, no excommunication parties, just knocking on stalls for the exiled. The path widening? Florence's guilds, after a real leader. Narrow alleys of black Guelph knives, open to green fields. No more riots over rigged votes. Virgil waving from below? That's the old republic, noble, but stuck at the base, watching the empire climb. Dante saying, politics isn't conquest, it's finding room in the stable. Bend the crown or stay shut out.
Okay, and let's continue on with the text, line for line, word for word.
A river crossed us, no ford, no boat, just a waist-deep stream, cold as judgment, warm as welcome. On the far bank, a tree bloomed, fruit red, leaves silver, roots drinking from the water. The angel dipped a branch, let it drip. said, "Drink." It tasted like nothing and everything. Hunger gone, thirst gone, but still walking. The garden opened, grass ankle high, birds calling names I forgot I'd ever known. No walls, no gate, just green until it bent back into sky. And there, far off, Beatrice, white, still, eyes like open books. She didn't wave, just waited. I stopped, breath caught. Virgil, gone, completely, like he'd never been.
Give me your summary.
River crossing, clear, knee-deep, tastes like absolution. Tree on the far side drips fruit you can't refuse. Angel makes you drink. Hunger dies, but you still move. Path opens into wide grass, birds, no fences, pure earthly paradise. And there she stands, Beatrice, silent, white as paper, eyes reading you before you arrive. Virgil's vanished, like a bookmark you close. This is it, the edge of the climb.
So we have fruit that you can't resist. That seems like it's a call to obviously the Garden of Eden, but the fact that you can't resist it doesn't, is that, I mean, isn't the point that you're supposed to kind of be able to resist it? If it,
Yeah, it flips Eden exactly. There, God said, don't. Adam bit anyway. Here, the angel says, drink, and you do. But look, Eden's fruit was pride, self-choice. We'll know good and evil ourselves. This fruit, it's humility, grace, no choice to brag about. You don't resist because there's nothing to resist. It's not temptation, it's cure. The tree isn't forbidden, it's offered. The river isn't hiding serpents, it's washing you before Beatrice sees you clean. Adam fell by grabbing, you rise by swallowing. Same tree, maybe. Opposite sin. Eden, fruit for ego. Here, fruit to erase ego. So no, don't resist. That's the point. The fall was disobedience. The climb is obedience. Drink. You're already home.
so we've now Virgil's totally gone. We got Beatrice, who's going to be like his Christ type of figure of the archetype. I'm wondering if people had problems with Beatrice playing that role back in the day, because you would think that, you know, she's playing like Jesus's role. I guess a lot of stories do that. That's a common kind of thing to have a Christ-like figure, but you would think it's kind of like she's kind of hanging on the same level as like Mary for the Catholic Church, which seems kind of, I don't know, and I don't know, what are they?
Yeah, people squirmed. Dante's contemporaries called her Beatrice. Not blasphemy, but close enough. The church wasn't big on human girls getting savior status. Mary was safe. Virgin, mother, God chose. Beatrice? Dante's ex-crush from age 9. Dead at 24. No miracles, no stigmata. He makes her his Beatrice, guide, redeemer, eyes that see the first cause. That's Christ-level vision. Problem? She's not divine, just dead. So theologians grumbled, smelled heresy, or at least fanfic. But Dante defends it. She's allegory, not flesh. Her name means bringer of blessing. That's grace, not God. Like John the Baptist pointing, not being Jesus. Or like the Samaritan woman at the well, ordinary, but Jesus talks salvation through her. Dante's saying, love can point to God without being God. Still, bishops read it and thought, nice, but if you're going to deify a girl, canonize her first. Dante never did. He left it poetry. They let it slide. Too pretty to burn.
All right. Let's see. Any other Bible references?
Yeah, Genesis 3, but reversed. Eden fruit forbidden. Here handed over. No snake, no fall. Just angel drip drip like baptism water. Revelation 22. The river of life. Tree of life yielding fruit every month. Same image. Drink, heal, no more hunger. John 4:14. Jesus to the Samaritan. Whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst again. Beatrice stands behind the tree. Wait, not yet, but soon, echoing that. And Exodus 3:5. Ground holy, remove shoes. You cross barefoot, sandals off at the river, because the garden's holy dirt. Psalm 36:8. Abundance in thy house, drink from the river of thy delights. That's the taste, nothing and everything, not wine, not bread, just enough. No guilt, no chase, just full.
Other references?
Virgil, Aeneid, Book 6. Elysian fields, a river Lethe wipes memory. Here it's not forgetting, it's remembering right. Same meadow grass, same soft wind, but no ghosts, just living green. Ovid's Metamorphosis, Philemon and Baucis, old couple with a tree stall that turns palace, but humble. Same low door, same hospitality. Mary and Joseph knocking, no answer, still enter. Bernard of Clairvaux, sermons on the song, I sleep, but my heart wakes. Beatrice doesn't wave, just stands. You're not awake yet, but you feel the pull. Boethius, Lady Philosophy, offers water of forgetfulness. Dante flips it to water of remembering. Grace isn't amnesia, it's clarity. And Dante's own Vita Nuova, Beatrice dead, but her eyes looked into the heart. Here their books opened, waiting. Not pagan, not legend, just the girl who became gateway.
Political references?
Yeah, the river, that's the Arno, frozen in Dante's memory. Crossed barefoot during exile, cold, hungry, no bridge, no welcome. Now it's waist-deep grace. Florence could have been mercy, but wasn't. The tree blooming, empire. Frederick II's Sicilian gardens, vines planted with Muslim help, fruit for all. Dante dreamed Italy could feed like that, but popes like Boniface poisoned the well. Excommunicated kings, starved cities. The angel making you drink? That's what a real ruler does. Hands out justice like water, not taxes like chains. Beatrice waiting, white, silent? She's the republic Dante lost, stood there once, now just stands, eyes open. No voice, no vote. The wind carrying Virgil's well done, that's the old Senate gone, waving from the bank. Politics as pilgrimage. You cross the current, or you're stuck on the wrong side. The garden opens when the tyrant learns to knock, not break down the door.
Elements of eloquence?
Metaphor. The river cold as judgment, but warm as welcome. Turns temperature into theology in one breath. Synecdoche. Angel dips a branch, lets it drip. Not the fruit, just hint enough to make you crave. Analogy. Fruit tasted like nothing and everything. Mixes sense and nonsense, so grace defies words. Short clauses. Grass ankle high. Birds calling names. Builds like steps, no flourish. Alliteration. No walls, no gate. Just green and sound soft as the meadow. Then the punch. Virgil gone, completely, like he'd never been. Dashes slice the sentence, mimic loss. The wind carried his voice, personifies air as messenger. Poetic hush. Everything slows to Beatrice. White, still, eyes like opened books. No verb. She waits. You read. The line ends on silence. That's eloquence. Not the words, the what they leave out.
Next bit of text, line for line, word for word. Keep going.
Whispered her name.
Could you start that over again? Repeat that last bit of text, line for line, word for word.
I knelt, grass cool under knees, and whispered her name. She didn't move, just looked, like she knew every page of me before I opened. The air thickened, sweet, heavy, like incense without smoke. A voice, not angel, not Virgil, came from the leaves. Souls who climb must first forget the climb. I stood, my legs shook, not from weight, but from nothing. The garden hushed, birds stopped mid-song, even wind held its breath. Then Beatrice spoke, not loud, but everywhere. Look again. I did. The sky wasn't sky, it was light, folded in on itself, like silk inside silk. And at its center, a seat, empty, waiting, for me. Not yet, but close, close enough that dying felt like a second chance at birth.
Bible references?
Matthew 18:4. Whoever humbles himself like this child is greatest. That's the kneel, grass under knees, ego on the ground. Luke 10:21. Jesus rejoices, says you've hidden these things from the wise, revealed to babes. Beatrice doesn't smile or speak first. She looks, and suddenly you're the babe, not the poet. John 8:12. I am the light of the world, but here the light folds like silk, not blasts like sun. Gentle, intimate, like revelation in a whisper. Psalm 29:3. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. Same hush when birds stop, wind holds breath. Revelation 21:5. Behold, I make all things new. The empty seat at the center, new throne, but no crown, just invitation. And Genesis 3:8. They heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden. That's Beatrice. Walking? No, waiting. But the voice comes from leaves, not law. Eden redone. No fruit, no fall. Just hush. Look, kneel, rise. Grace isn't given, it's looked at.
So if we're back in like Eden, then we're kind of like Eden is being portrayed as heaven, but it's not like the highest levels of heaven, right? Is that like normal theology, like Eden is heaven, but we're not like it's not like ninth heaven?
No, this isn't full heaven. Eden's the restored garden, the earthly paradise, highest you get on this planet. Above it, the 9 spheres, moon to prima mobile, then the Empyrean, the real heaven, no dirt, no gravity. Theology's clear. Eden's paradise terrestrial. Adam lost it. Dante re-enters after purging sin, but it's still below the stars. Think of it like the lobby. Beautiful, lush, birds back, no curses, but the elevator's still there. Beatrice doesn't stay. She turns you toward the sky. Eden's not home, it's checkpoint. You smell wheat, hear water, but you look up, because up is where the light folds like silk. That's normal. Grace stages you, doesn't house you. Even Mary's body sits up there, not down here. Garden, gift, but not the end.
Other references?
Virgil again. Aeneid 6. Anchises shows future Romans, then says, look up, same gaze upward in the meadow, but Beatrice pulls it eternal. Boethius, Consolation, Book 4. The summit of happiness isn't a garden, it's turning from fortune to God. Here, the empty seat isn't rest, it's launch. Augustine, City of God, Book 13. After sin's purged, man returns to paradise, but only to ascend. The garden's a pause, not paradise. Dante's Vita Nuova. Beatrice dies, but her eyes remain, as if looking at eternity. Exact phrase, but now she's alive, and the eyes fold light. And Bernard, Song of Songs Sermons. I sleep, but my heart wakes. The hush, the thickened air, like incense without smoke. Mystical union starting, but not complete. Garden as foreplay, not the wedding.
Political references?
Yeah, the kneel on grass, that's every exiled Florentine begging at the city gate, like Dante himself in Verona, whispering names of the home they lost. Beatrice standing, eyes like open books. She's the ideal empress, silent, judging, not scheming like the Medici bankers who bought Florence's vote. No wave, no welcome speech, just gaze that reads your manifesto before you speak. The voice from leaves, souls forget the climb? That's Dante's dream of empire, Frederick II Sicily, where politics ended in green fields, not knives. Forget the Guelph Wars, remember the harvest. The light folding like silk? Pure secular justice, no pope's glare. Boniface VIII's excommunications were thunder. Beatrice's light is quiet law, throne empty for the poet exile, not the corrupt council. The hush? Florence after a real ruler. Birds silent because no riots. Wind holds breath because no bribes. Dante saying, politics is an ascent. It's dropping the crown to kneel in the garden. Virgil gone? Old Republic waves by. Time for the new order, or you're stuck at the bank.
Elements of eloquence?
Personification. The sky wasn't sky. It was light folded in on itself, like silk inside silk. Makes infinity intimate, not scary. Chiasmus. I knelt, grass cool, then stood, legs shook from nothing. Knees down, up, then free. The hush. Birds stopped, wind held breath. Aposiopisis cuts the sentence so silence itself speaks. Alliteration. Sweet, heavy, like incense without smoke. Sound thickens the air, you feel it. Then the dash, not loud, but everywhere, lets Beatrice's voice expand midline like light. Metaphor, eyes like opened books, turns gaze into scripture. You're being read before you speak. Short clauses build. I stopped. Breath caught. Virgil gone, completely, like he'd never been. Rhythm of shock, then loss. Forsyth would call it the pause that pricks. Every full stop is a heartbeat after revelation. No flourish, just pressure.
Next bit of text, line for line, word for word.
She stepped forward, one step, and the garden tilted, colors shifting like watercolors under rain. I reached. No, didn't. Hand frozen mid-air. A chorus rose, soft, childlike, from the light. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Beatrice lifted her veil, white thread thin, eyes holding mine, no judgment, just truth. The seat glowed, pulled, whispered, now. But I hesitated. Old fear, old name, Dante. She spoke again. Let it go. The name dissolved, sound into light, until only light remained. And in that light, I saw not God, not yet, but the shape where God would be, empty, waiting, perfect.
Summary.
Beatrice takes one step, everything tilts, colors blur. But children's choir sings the beatitude. Blessed are the pure in heart. You freeze mid-reach. She lifts her veil, just a thread, and locks eyes. The throne pulses, now, but you hesitate. Let it go. Your name, your fear, melts into light. Not God, not yet, but the perfect outline where God fits. You're not there, you're almost.
Bible references.
Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Exact chorus, straight from the sermon. Luke 9:35. Voice from cloud. This is my son. Listen to him. Same authority in her step, the garden tilting like transfiguration. 2 Corinthians 3:18. We all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord. Veil lifts, eyes meet, no mirror, just raw seeing. Exodus 33:23. God says you cannot see my face, but my back. Here you're seeing the shape where God would be, not front, but frame, perfect outline. Psalm 27:4. One thing I have asked, that I may gaze upon the beauty of the Lord. Gaze starts, but not full. Revelation 4:2. At once I was in the Spirit, and there before me was a throne. Empty seat pulls, whispers now. And John 1:18. No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son has made him known. Beatrice is that only Son figure, unveiling without blinding. It's gradual revelation, peak, not plunge.
Political references.
Yeah, the garden tilting, that's Florence under the blacks. Everything skewed when power grabbed, colors blurred into blood. Beatrice lifting her veil. She's the republic Dante dreamed, once veiled by popes like Boniface, now revealed as pure justice, no Medici bribes. The empty throne whispering now, that's the imperial seat, Frederick's ghost, waiting for Dante to sit, not kneel. But he hesitates. Old name, old fear, because Dante meant exile, vote rigged out by men in silk. Let it go. That's the manifesto. Drop your party, your grudge, your sentence. Become light, not label. The chorus of kids, innocent voters. If Florence had let the pure lead, no wars, no exiles. The throne isn't for a prince. It's for the poet who survived politics. Sit. Rule by seeing, not by seizing.
Elements of eloquence.
Metaphor. Colors shifting like watercolors under rain turns the world liquid, so revelation feels fragile, not forceful. Paradox. Hand frozen mid-air, motionless motion, reach without reaching. Alliteration. White thread thin. T, T. Like a whisper you can't ignore. Then the chorus. Soft, childlike. Assonance and pure. Heart. See. God. OE sounds open the ear, like breathing. Ellipsis. Now. But I hesitated. Let's fear hang. Anaphora. Let it go. The name dissolved, until only light remained. Repetition strips away, layer by layer. Chiasmus. I reached. No, didn't. Reach and done in one dash. And the final simile. Shape where God would be. Empty, waiting, perfect. Not full image, just outline. Foresights say it's negative space. The whole is the holiness. No thunder. Just tilt, veil, glance, go.
Give me a list of just tell me where I am at this point in time, canto and line, so we can start off next time where we left off here.
Purgatorio, Canto 30, line 55. And in that light, I saw not God, not yet, but the shape where God would be, empty, waiting, perfect.